6 years after running for president, Mitt Romney is back in the game with a lot of the same concerns, including one country that's giving the current president fits.
Well, we got to crack down on Russia's interference in our election, and that's something which is unacceptable to us, and they have to recognize if they do that, there will be consequences. Vladimir Putin is not leading a wonderful campaign of goodness and light around the world.
Do you worry that he might meddle in your election?
Yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised that that's what they do. And there are a whole range of sanctions that one can apply towards a nation like Russia, and those sanctions ought to be applied.
Another long-standing issue, guns and school safety. President Trump this week's proposing federal bans on bump stocks.
And we're going to have to find common ground.
But Romney, a former governor, believes change can come quicker, closer to home.
Young people are thinking about this, talking about this. We're going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to take action.
A lot of interest groups like the NRA are in a lot of pockets. Are they in yours?
I'm not taking money from any of the PACs. I plan on receiving campaign contributions from individual citizens. Now, if I get attacked by one of these big national PACs, I'll have to, I'm sure, find some way to return fire. But I don't want to take any PAC money, and I'm not organizing at this stage any PAC. I hope I don't have to have any campaign PAC supporting my effort.
There are those here in Utah that hope or expect, if you win, that you'll go back to Washington and duke it out with President Trump. Will they be disappointed?
Well, President Trump and I agree on a whole host of issues. There have been occasions where he's said something or done something that I found troublesome, and I pointed that out.
One of those occasions was 2 years ago in Salt Lake City, when Romney declared candidate Trump a phony.
Is it a good thing to get President Trump's endorsement after the relationship you've had?
I think he respects people who speak their mind. There's a, if you will, party correctness, where you never can say anything negative about anyone in your own party. I don't subscribe to that either.
Describe the culture you want to go into.
It's a pretty ugly culture in a lot of respects. There used to be more respect for people across the aisle. I'd like to be one of those who speaks up for decency and respect and dignity in the nation's capital. And I think the White House and the House and the Senate, Republicans and Democrats, can find some common ground, and that we have to if we're going to deal with some challenges we face. And by the way, there are big ones coming down the road, not just internationally, but automation and artificial intelligence are going to change our economy in drastic ways. Our debt is unacceptable. Our deficits keep growing. There's a lot that's got to be done, and we're going to have to find common ground to find real solutions.
Do you remember where you were the moment you got the phone call that the Salt Lake Games were in trouble?
I do remember where I was. I was at my desk in my office, and the call came from my wife. She said, Kim Gardner has called me and wants you to consider coming back to run the Olympics. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. Why in the world would I do that? Right. And why did he call you? Because he said he knew that if he talked to you, you'd just tell him no.
That decision has had so much to do with the rest of your life. You go back, you win later that same year, you win governor of Massachusetts, you run for president, you win the nomination. Here you are running for Senate. Had you said no to coming out here to Salt Lake,
none of that would have happened. None of that would have happened. Because my life has taken such a different course than I would have ever imagined. And you're right, probably the critical moment was the decision to come back to Salt Lake City to be a member of the Olympic team and help host the games, and that changed my life for the better.